I'm coming here to talk about my secrets of driving growth. But also I wanted to add in a little bit of spice. I want to give you something that I actually measure. I want to talk about my killer KPIs, the things that actually I care about. But what's also, I just want to say hello. But before I really get into the detail of this presentation, more importantly, I just want to say how amazing you are all. Not just for coming here to listen to me and all the brilliant speakers. It's the fact that you're here to learn, here to listen. And the one thing I would ask you to do is not connect with me, you can do, is to look in the chat, look who's been commenting, look who's been asking questions, and connect to those people. Because what I'm going to talk to you today is not what I've thought up, it's what I've copied. Nothing I'm going to say today is original. In fact, half the things I'm going to say have just been said in the previous slide presentation, which was brilliant. And I was like, okay, I'm going to echo that. So just go in, find those people, search those names, do it in a minute, maybe after you've listened to me or at the end of the day, but just like literally go find those people, connect, because they are suffering the same as things that I'm suffering from, that you're suffering from. The challenge is exactly the same. We just sell different things. So well done. Thanks for coming. Make sure you leave with a friend. That's all I ask. So a little bit about me. So I've been in e-commerce for a long time. I feel old, got a grey beard. I started off at AO. I joined there just post a startup, 2 years old. Joined there, wasn't even called AO at the time. I did 27 different roles. I ended up being the head of conversion. It wasn't even a role then, but we just made it up at the time. It's now a whole industry. And I did, like I said, 27 different roles, changed all the time. I was there for 8 years and I left just after it IPO'd for £1.6 billion. I then moved to Love Holidays. I moved to London. Well, I traveled to London. I was there for a couple of years. First year, we doubled the business. Second year, we doubled again. At that point, my wife said, I'm going to divorce you if you don't come home. It was like, thank you for that coded message. I wasn't quite sure whether there was a hidden message in that, but I decided I needed to find a job closer to home, of which I've joined Ribble. Ribble, I've been here for over a decade. Feel like it's flowing by. And we've taken a business that was selling £4 million worth of bikes. At its peak during COVID, £35 million. Now about £27 million worth of bikes. So we're doing something interesting. All direct to consumer, all effectively considered purchases. So that'll be a factor in what I say. Okay. This was day one. This is the thing that inspired me to join the brand. Look how beautiful it was. It was inspirational. It pulled me in. It made me want to join the business. It even had a Christmas hat on the logo. Look at it. You know, it's a beautiful website. It's an SEO dream. Look at all those links. Look, it's only got down to G. Just imagine how long that page was. This is the thing that wanted me to come in and join and do it. You know, what can I do? But it's not about what you end up starting with. It's where you want to take it, what you want to do. And where we are now, this is not what I've said because I'm quite arrogant, but this is what the press is saying, is Ribble is cycling what Rolex is to watches. Definitely wouldn't have said that about the other website, SEO Dream website, but fundamentally, these are about transformations. How do we deliver change? How do we get people moving forward? How do we develop on what we've got? And this is what my secrets that helped make that happen. So, but I did talk about the killer KPI. I'll tell you right at the very end. Save it to me. Quite practical, quite interesting, but it's a thing that I messaged to you. But bear with me. I might get boring. So number one. I know this sounds obvious, but you do need to focus on your team. And what I mean by focus on the team is the people around you. Some people have the luxury of recruiting, and this is all other people have the luxury of being able to bring people together. And you don't have to be a manager to focus on the team. You don't have to be. What I think is really important is that you build a team that you can trust. You need to look for the untrainables. Look for the people that you can trust. You can't pay someone to care. You need to look for those things. When I recruit, I'm not recruiting a person for the job that I need today. I'm looking at the job that I need to do tomorrow, the day after. God, remember, I did 27 different roles at AO. Things are going to change. So you need the skills that are untrainable. Focus on those skills. Make people feel safe. Because it's important that people say, yes, we can talk about work, but I spend half my day talking about their lives. I want them to feel like they can share their stories. I want them to feel like they've got their back. Because once I've got a team that I can trust, that I know that they care, that they're intuitive, they want to discover new stuff, they'll feel free to make mistakes. They'll feel free to try new things. They'll feel free to push things forward. Because the thing is, I have not got the time, I've not got the patience, I've not got the skills to do everything in my team, because I'm responsible for all things related to a computer at Ribble, like from IT, the printers, right to the website, to the development, to the hosting. I'm never going to be a specialist in all those subjects all at once. I need the team to be able to do it, and I need to allow them to do it. I need them to know that if they make mistakes, I'll take the bullets. If they do something brilliantly, they're the ones who get elevated. As an example, my head of data used to be a mechanic. My head of IT used to be a graphic designer. It's about finding the right people to allow you to grow, to allow them to develop, and allow them to just have a good time. Half my time is just having a laugh, because I want them to have fun. When people have fun, they get things done. When people think gets done, they feel like they're delivering. And that's where you need to focus on the team. It really energizes you when you start focusing on the team. But you need to believe in what you do. So do you believe in your mission? I'm sorry to say, if you don't believe in what you're doing right now, or don't believe in the business, I probably recommend go find another job with something that you do believe in. Because the reason is, you need to have that belief that you are making a difference, belief in you being able to tell your story. You've got to believe in the mission behind the business, because ultimately that allows you to back yourself, be able to sell the story. You've got to be able to understand that you're going to be a difference. So AO, ultimately they wanted to be a disruptor. Everyone has a reason for why they're doing it. AO wasn't to be the best at customer service. That came later. It was they wanted to revolutionize the industry by connecting the manufacturer to the customer with a website in the middle. They wanted to actually get rid of distributors. Very functional. Do I believe in doing that? Yes, I do. Love holidays. We wanted to change how people shop for holidays. We were up against normal traditional package holidays. We wanted people to build their own holidays. They wanted to choose their hotel. They wanted to choose their flights, bring it together, put it as a package holiday. But not only that, we wanted to believe that we thought it was right that customers could shop by what they wanted to do. I want an infinity pool. I want a gym. Who wants a gym on holiday? But anyway, you want to have a gym. You want to have water slides. I want it to be this hot, so I want to be close to a beach. That's how I shop for holidays. I believe that. I could tell that. And if I could believe that, I can get my team to believe it. I can get the customers to believe it. And at Ribble, I believe our products, pound for pound, are better than all our competitors. You get on a Ribble compared it to another bike, absolutely game changing. It is a beautiful, beautiful product. I genuinely believe it. And I believe our model of being able to go direct to consumer, miss out the middleman, miss out distributors like retail, I believe in that, because I think it's better for a value proposition for our customers. And that's why I believe what it is. Having that belief allows you to energize your team, and actually that will come through in your communications to your customers. Okay. But also you need a catalyst. And a catalyst can be all sorts. So let's look at the catalyst at Ribble. So I talk about the transition from driving from £4.5 million worth of bikes to £27 million worth of bikes. That wasn't what we originally signed up for. The catalyst moment for us was a horrible moment. The horrible moment is like we used to sell parts and accessories. Let's go back to that original website with all those categories down the side. We were selling everything. And it was like 75% of our business was selling other people's stuff, third-party parts and accessories. We did some maths. We did the maths and we worked out we were running a cycling charity. We were making no money. We could scale and scale and scale, but still make no money. It just made no sense. But what we did notice when we did that analysis is we found that our bikes were the things that were making our money. So what we did on that day is we decided to never buy any more parts and accessories again. We'll burn down the stock to build our brand. We'll focus on what it is. And we talked about it. We said it to the team. Let's get behind. This is what we've got to do. We've got to build our brand. These products are brilliant. They're making us money. Let's go after it. Let's build it. Let's walk away from something. Catalyst. You can make a catalyst. The catalyst could be, who's your biggest competitor? Are you up and coming? AO wanted to go after Comet and Currys. One of them is no longer here, because we wanted to go after the big boys who were not necessarily, we wanted to be the underdog. We knew we had to fight for our lives. They knew as soon as they noticed they'll try and kill us, we needed to find our catalyst. And that's what we had an enemy to go after. Love Holidays, their catalyst, did you know Love Holidays wasn't even a travel package holiday company? Before it was an affiliate. Their catalyst was they were doing referrals, a bit like Travel Supermarket. Send it across, get commission. Send it across, get commission. And they were milking it. They were getting loads of commission. They were loving their commission. That one day when one of the the big package holiday companies, Thomas Cook, said to them was, we're going to slash your commissions. It's about 8% reduction in your commissions. That business was no longer viable. So what did he do? They decided to become a package holiday company. We'll go the full mile. We'll let the people book for us. So they're the catalysts. You need to have your mission, that mission and that energy to be able to align that with your team and your beliefs. Is ultimately, it gives you something to turbocharge it. And it could happen to you. It could be luck, could be something, but it's really got to have something to really accelerate your growth. We talk about like COVID impacts and stuff like that. Those things are, to us, you've got to respond to it and have it and bring it part of your story and remind yourself, be able to lean on it when times are tough. It's effectively, what's your why? Why are you here? What are you trying to do? Have your catalyst. Bit more onto a more practical one. Love it to bits. It's effectively stop driving your Ferraris at 30 miles an hour. What I mean by that is look at your tech stack, look at your agencies, look at your projects. If there's something, and I know most people have got them, it's a SaaS technology you thought was going to be brilliant. It promised all the spas, the rainbows, all the pots of gold that was going to come out of the website by implementing those technologies, but you don't really log into it very often. In fact, you see the bill every month. In fact, sometimes you pay it for it annually so you can forget about it for a whole year. They're your Ferraris. They're the things that you're driving at 30 miles an hour that are sapping your time, sapping your money. Just get rid of them. You'll have projects, and I mean projects in the business where you're sitting there, you're rolling your eyes in the meeting, that meeting pops up and you go, ugh. They're the things you need to stop, because not only is it costing you money, it's costing you time and it's costing you headspace. I haven't got time to be thinking about that project that doesn't really make a difference. So I stop it. To be honest, you can ask my team. I probably go to the least amount of meetings in my business. I actively avoid them. I'll go to the ones which really matter. I go to the ones where there's a decision to be made. But really, I hate meetings with a passion. I'd rather just sit with the team and just talk about getting stuff done. And the most important meetings to me are just the stand-ups in the morning. What are you doing? What's getting in your way? Let me get your stuff out of the way. You just need to stop it. There's money to be saved, because what you can do with that money is invest it straight into marketing. Look at it as a collective. The money I can save on IT tech, I can push into marketing. Luckily, I'm responsible for all performance marketing as well. So I am just moving the money around to try and drive the growth for the business. Because you'd be surprised how many things that you think you could save money on. Fundamentally, this is a massive one. And it'll allow you'll be able to walk around taller because you feel like you've just taken away distraction, noise. And it just allows you to be able to be smarter with the time and your money in what you're going to go for. But more importantly, of the things that you stick around, you want things that you keep, the things where you're spending your money for, it's this one. Be more than a customer. Think about it. So we are buying services. We are looking for suppliers, we're looking for tech partners, we're looking for all different things. This one stands out massively. The reason why I'm actually sat here is because Corefinity said, can you have a chat with Paul? Paul said, can you do a talk? I was like, yeah, fine, absolutely. Because I want to give something back. I'm incentivizing myself to do something nice for my providers, for my supplies. I could talk about how Corefinity is absolutely brilliant. The fact is it auto scales for me and it does all these magical things so that when I get a spike in traffic, it automatically increases the resources to my customers, so my website performance going down. That's not what I mean. What I mean is when I look at my tech partners, I don't look at just the technologies. I look at the people behind there. Because behind every technology, behind every agency, there's people. People are the power. Because if I'm a dickhead to my suppliers, if I'm a dickhead to my agencies, if I'm having a bad day or sales are bad and I start shouting at them, how's that going to make them feel? How are they going to respond to it? Right back to focus on the team. My team is not just my staff, it's my agencies, it's the team around it. Example being with Corefinity is that be nice, because if they had an extra 10 minutes of time, agencies are run on time and materials. If they had spare 10 minutes, where would they likely to invest that time? They were likely to do it with the person who's nice to them, the person that's helped them, the person who's just introduced them to one of their friends. Absolutely, that's where it happens. Who's going to do a better renewal quote? Because the decision has to be made. Bring them along, because I'm going to have difficult challenges along the way. So as an example, I needed to change the entire front end of the website. We needed to re-platform. We were using View Storefront, and I needed to migrate to Nuxt. Complete rebuild of the front end. Normally, I'll be shitting my pants because it's going to be a project that's going to go long, it's going to go wrong, it's going to take longer than I think, you're going to make mistakes, conversion's going to change. But what I was able to do is I had a chat with Navid, Declan, Harry at the team, and Henry at the team, and he was like, we can help. We've never done this before, but we could introduce and deliver your code base in two different ways. We can have it so that someone comes in, we can serve one page on one code base infrastructure, we'll serve the next page on the separate infrastructure, and you can transition from one to the other. Would they do that for anybody else? Probably, now that I've just said that they'll do it, because that's quite exciting. But it's because they were willing to do that extra mile, because they like working with us, they like talking to us. And if you invest your time into your agencies, they grow. I did the same for Maximizer, conversion rate optimization, when I was at AO. They sold for Oracle for millions of pounds. They did it with Sail Through. They got bought by Marigold. We talk about Go in Store. That's a technology for people to be able to come and do live video experts with the customers. That got sold. I want these things to grow. I want them to excel, and they never forget the person who helped them along the way. And it allows them to do that extra bit, that extra optimization, to tell me about the new technologies, because they enjoy talking to me. You can apply this to every single agency. You can apply this to every single tech stack. Get to know the person behind the technology. Don't see it as a transaction, because they want their business to grow just as much as you do. And when they perform well, they get excited, because the thing is, they're motivated just as much as we are of getting stuff done and doing exciting projects. We've just even heard it from James when he was talking about, do you want to be an agency? I want to build something. People like to build stuff. It's the same with the people that you're servicing your brand. So be more than a customer, absolutely massive. But then I want to go back to this, hold your ground. You've just heard it before. I won't stress too much time, it was landed before, is that when times are tough, when things go wrong, remember what you believed in. Remember what was working. Just because it's a bad day, a bad week, bad month, doesn't mean it's the end of the world. You have to change things. Guess what happens when things look bad? People ask you to change stuff. Marketing gets asked to spend some more money, ops restructure ad accounts. They get told to change the creative. We need to do a rebrand. We need to do a refresh. Want to do a replatform. These are all things that come out when things feel a bit tough. But you got to remember where you come from. What's your belief? Where do you want to get to? I could be looking at Ribble. We were, COVID as an example. It boomed. It was the best first 2 weeks of my life until I ran out of stock. Bloody hell, the sales were brilliant. I could leave my shops open because we sold bikes. Yes. Selling bikes on eBay. I got rid of everything in my shed. It was brilliant. But then another pain it came. But we saw the decline. I said we were 35 million, now we're 27. Is that good? Is that bad? Never smooth it off. What was the original mission is still delivering today. Stand fast, believe in your product, stand your ground, don't change everything. Believe in it. Be firm with what it is, as long as you believe it. I'm not saying ignore new stuff. AI as an example. Claude's been employee of the month for the last 6 months in a row at Ribble. He likes his mugs. It's fundamentally makes a difference. It really does make a difference to remember it. But the core business proposition and what you signed up for, be firm, believe, stick with it. Because things will get tough. Things go up, things come down. If you're doing the right things, things will grow. Okay. I'm just conscious of time, getting on to the killer KPI. I promised you this. So what I mean by this, so a lot of people measure their sessions, their conversion rates by feeling that there is outputs. Everybody knows what those are. These are key KPIs, your ROAS, your efficiencies, your ad costs. That's not what I measure. I do report on it, but that's not what I'm chasing. What's really important to me when I'm trying to build a brand, while I'm trying to build performance, is actually between the lines. What drives someone to change between awareness and interest? What makes someone switch from being a consideration to a purchaser? That's where the magic is. That's what you need to find and measure. What is the catalyst that gets someone to switch from one to the other? I can drive sessions, but what then gets them to be considering our products? What was it? What was the thing on the website? I used 2 different things. That's the magic. That's the transition. That's the things that I measure. I really do try and find what those is. And I use technology to help me. I'm not saying I'm like Rain Man and I can just look at the analytics and I can figure it out. I do need tech to support me. I have 2 key pieces of technologies to help me. Or within the website, I look at like made with intent. Does their intent change it between the stages? What did I do to influence it? How can I monetize it? How can I scale it? But from an attribution perspective, I use segment stream. Again, the reason why that's important is that it looks at this churn in the middle. They may not end up with a conversion, but was that a success? I don't know. As an example, I would like to relate things back to the physical world. So if someone walks down the street, walks into my shop, walks down the aisle, picks up the box, looks at the box, turns the box down, reads the box, puts it back, walks out the shop, was that a failure because they didn't buy? No, I need to go find the guy down the street who told him to come into the shop, give him some money because he's the one who drove that behavior. That person's just gone home to check with the wife that they can buy that thing. Measure those things and you'll be able to scale your business because you'll be in control of what makes the difference. So So summarize, focus on the team, massively important. Believe in what you do. Have a catalyst. If you can't find one, make one up. Have an enemy, have a mission, have a reason to why. Look at your Ferraris, sell them. We've talked about the buying cycle for cars earlier today. Come on, let's go buy something more appropriate. Be more than the customer. It'll get you more than you think. It pays forward, so much forward. It may not happen in a day, it may not happen in a month, but in 6 months, you'll start to feel the benefit. Hold your ground. Things will get tough. Measure the behaviors, and everything will grow.
Done. I love it, man. Like it's very, it's a session when you come back energized, So I think we're talking about 2B here. One, I can see people in the chat, they want to buy your bikes. Okay,
Good.
that's the number one. And
Yeah.
there is someone else who want to have a pint of beer with you. That's a most, like it means that it's resonate with people. And I cannot ignore this. Can you tell me, is it a Steven Gerrard shirts on your background?
Oh no, I have actually got Steven Gerrard over there. I've got a picture of Mo Salah, but this is more important to me than anything else. This is the shirt my son wore because I coach football. Under 14s, we won the double. This is the shirt he wore all season. We won the league, we won the League Cup, and I wanted to immortalise it because life isn't just about work. It's about family. It's about doubling up passions, and I can, take him to the football, and I can tell him what to do because I'm the boss at the football as well as at work.
Let's modify the previous slides and have 7. Life is not just a walk.